So let's talk about the whole factory swapperoo with the Deegans. So I want to be very careful because Hayden is only 15. He's not an adult. And I want to be very cautious. You know, like, yeah, can talk all sorts of shit about adults because they could basically defend themselves, but he's a kid and he's at the forefront of social media, so he has a lot of probably positivity and negativity floating about him, and he's probably used to it by now because him and his father have started this movement of social media, of gaining a huge following so that you can get better sponsors, etc. They've found a system that works, and it works really, really well, so it doesn't surprise me that the Deegans can decide wherever they want to go, whatever factory would probably beg them to be a part of their team just because of the reach. They could bring bigger sponsors to the team just by their name alone, which is pretty crazy to think about it. And Hayden is probably I don't want to use the greatest of all time, but he's definitely the most popular amateur of all time just because of his following. And if you've seen the Gypsy Tale podcast, Jace talks to Brian, and Brian actually just says how it is as to why they switched to Yamaha.
But like I said, where would you go right now if you want to win a Lights Championship?
Star Yamaha.
So what do we do?
Go to Star Yamaha.
And the answer is, why the F not? They're winning everything. I want my kid to continue to win. Let's get on the best equipment. It's a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. I do want to point out that Coach Rob and Chris Cooksey did drop the beans on this before anyone else, and they got a little bit of smack from it because it looked like they might be staying with KTM, but come to find out, look, they're going with the Yamaha. No surprise there. My question is, yeah, I get the whole idea that best team on a 250, and maybe even now best team on a 450. So that's obviously the place you want your kid to be to win a championship. But I think it might go deeper than that, you know, where they can't actually come out and say it. I'm saying hypothetically, you know, it's a Johnny Hopper video, so hypothetically, Deegan has been, well, Brian, the family has been with Monster Energy forever. And if they switch to KTM, at least continuing with the amateur, you're going to have Brian, the father, hanging out in the pits with a Monster hat, and then you've got little Deegan with Redbull stuff all over him. It just seems like a huge conflict of interest. So I think it made, and let's think about it. Who is a bigger sponsor? Is it KTM or is it Monster Energy? Is it Yamaha or is it Red Bull? Pretty sure the energy drinks are the bigger sponsor there. And if you've got a big tie-in with Monster Energy, you need to keep it. And Hayden, being only 15, he still is traveling with the dad, and I'm sure Brian is going to be around for... It just seems like a no-brainer because you're not pissing off Monster Energy, who potentially can be one of your biggest title sponsors or sponsors throughout your whole career. You know, you're not pissing anybody off in that sense. I think there's more to say with the energy drinks than what bike it is, because Hayden probably could do really well on whatever bike it is. Yeah, granted, I do have some feelings with factory bikes. I do think those Yamahas are like cheater bikes, so that you've got the best chance for success being on one of those Star Racing Yamahas. I just think it goes a little bit deeper than that. And, you know, I did like the rules where you had to be 18, 19 to start racing Supercross, but they ixnayed that, and it's back to 16, and it's just, we'll see if this kid gets burnt out by 20 years old, because he's literally, this has been a huge job since he's basically been on a 50. And most professional athletes, it doesn't really start being a job until college. And then they've got a much longer career, and that's when the big money starts kicking in. I'd be surprised if Hayden's career lasts into his 30s. he'd probably end up doing something else. But he's got the social media following to be able to do so many different spin-offs of things. So anyway, that's my effing 2 cents on the whole switcheroo, KTM, Yamaha. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. And I wish this kid the best of luck. I think he's going to do really well for obvious reasons. So, till next time, like, subscribe, and I'm out. We're going to pin it out, right? You know, maybe float the valves a little bit. Let's float those effing valves. Puppy screams.